what's up?
With a career like Diddy, where you've had immense success, you have become the person that people want to connect with. And a lot of times, people have serious respect for what you've been able to accomplish in the position of power that you hold. When it comes to business, especially your music, you're grateful for the opportunity to work with them, without realizing how their power can go to their head if they feel disrespected, even if it was a mistake.
What up? It's Nas Esco, chilling with the bad boy family. You know what I'm saying? Right here.
We got on the end.
That's my man Nas from the firm, y'all.
Yeah, the firm are holding it down for them.
Their album is out right now. Nas, he got his own album coming, and he's one of the acts that's holding it down for us. That comes on before us and rips it down. And
this tour is gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I can't even. Let's introduce.
In 1999, Nas and Diddy collaborated on Nas's album I Am for the song Hate Me Now. It's a great song that a lot of people deem a Nas classic for its lyrical ability and hard beat. But the song didn't come without controversy. For one, the song came with public ridicule of its own because of the actions displayed in the music video. It had religious undertones that some people thought was disrespectful to our Lord and Savior. It featured a scene of Nas and Diddy being crucified on a cross with crowns of thorns, which sounds quite familiar, but originally Diddy was a cameo appearance and wanted to be included, leading Sonny to spend an additional $14,000 to have him on the cross. A lot of people deemed the video blasphemous. They thought it was crazy that these two rappers will go against the grain of what's considered godly and Christ-like and do it in their own way. But the reason why Nas did it was because there was a play in New York where a black man was portraying Jesus and they got ridiculed the same way. But his take is just like, if white people could do it, why can't I do it as a black man? But regardless, they didn't like that they would take the steps to put the imagery out there in relations to Christ. Even though Diddy shot the video and played a hand, he later had a great awakening. Him being a religious man, a religious Catholic, woke up on a guilty conscience and decided to speak with his priest on the incident. After getting some religious counsel, he decided he was against his portrayal of him on the cross and wanted his parts taken out of the music video. He contacted Nas's manager, Steve Stout, to change the parts before it was set to air. Unfortunately, Nas's manager either didn't get to make the change on time or the original version was accidentally sent. Either way, it aired on Total Request Live on April 15th, and the original cut was accidentally shown. This did not make Puff happy, and he was enraged. One, because it went against his religious request, and two, he felt disrespected. He told Steve he didn't want the part broadcasted, and it was on full display for millions to see. Less than an hour later, after it aired, Diddy barged into Steve's office with his bodyguards and started attacking him. They whooped his ass, smashed a bottle of champagne on his head, and even broke his arm.
Combs was arrested on charges of second-degree assault and criminal mischief in connection with last Thursday's alleged attack on Interscope executive Steve Stout, who also serves as Nas's manager and executive produced Nas's album I Am. According to the police report, Combs and two other unidentified men entered Stout's office around 4:30 p.m. and attacked him, leaving him with a fractured arm and numerous cuts and bruises.
Once you do a video a certain way at the last minute, you know, that's really not professional to do business like that, really, I thought. You know what I mean? It's like...
After finishing the video, my man Puffy decided he didn't want that clip in the final product. Well, the video got aired with the infamous scene.
Steve recounts the moment saying, "One minute I'm in the middle of a meeting and the next minute I'm down on the floor and Puffy and his guys are kicking and pounding me. One of the guys picks up a chair and throws it at me. Then Puffy throws my desk over and they just walk out like nothing happened." But Steve wasn't just Nas's manager. He was an executive on Interscope. His situation was not only embarrassing but disrespectful to his position on the job. He stated, "If this kind of behavior is allowed to go unpenalized, it will be like an invitation for extortion in the music business. If somebody could get away with walking into the headquarters of the world's biggest record company and beat up a senior executive over a disagreement, I guarantee you this is going to be a great business for criminals to thrive in." Even though Steve was Nas's manager, he stated he actually didn't have the authorization to make those changes so quickly in the music video. Obviously, Diddy was arrested and sued, but they ended up settling in court. The video is banned, but you can now find the original version if you search it up. But for a while, it was one of those rare videos you'd have to have been there to see because the original was pulled everywhere. Diddy's frustration was understandable, but his reaction isn't justifiable. It was violent and I don't think he was thinking rationally, but the situation was settled in court and by Nas. So I guess it's just water under the bridge. but it does show Diddy's volatile nature. But you know what is good in nature is a nice outfit, and with my discount code with Fashion Closet Clothing, you can upgrade your style. I recently started looking into more ways to branch out my style, and Fashion Closet Clothing has reached out to help me. They've got everything you need to make a statement and express your unique style. From casual essentials to the cutest birthday looks, Fashion Closet has it all. Trust me, their quality and designs are top notch. And guess what? I've got an exclusive treat for you. Use the discount code Clarissa.C at checkout at fashionclosetclothing.com for an amazing deal. So if you want to turn heads and feel confident in what you wear, check out Fashion Closet Clothing. I've fallen in love with their styles, and I know you will too. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description below to explore their latest collections, and don't forget to use my code Clarissa.C for an extra special offer. In 2015, Diddy hired chef Cindy Ruda to be his personal chef. What was considered a great opportunity for her went south when she was set up to be fired, according to her. Apparently, she claims that she had complained about harassment to his estate manager. Not long after, Diddy's housekeeper supposedly found a watch in the garbage and offered it to her. And then she was fired after she returned the watch. The reason she complained to his staff was because of the weird work environment she had to endure. Supposedly, she had to work long hours from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. and was only paid $150 a day. She wasn't compensated for overtime either and had to take long hours away from her children. On top of that, she had to serve Diddy and his guests before, during, and after they were engaging in sexual activities. Yes, you heard that right. Sexual activities. He allegedly wouldn't even cover his private parts when she served him during his rendezvous, which is pretty disgusting. That's literally nasty as fuck. But what's crazier is when Diddy allegedly asked her to make breakfast and she had went to deliver it, she walked in on Diddy having intercourse with Gina, the same Gina I had mentioned in my original Surviving Diddy video. She had knocked before entering and he didn't cover himself on her behalf. She even recalled a moment when she walked in on him and he had asked her if she liked what she saw, which again is gross and very intimidating for someone who's simply just there to do their job. She also claimed that during one of the escapades, one of his nude guests walked in the kitchen and asked her if she liked his private parts. Mind you, this is just one of his guests, just walking around naked. That's just weird. Eventually, she got overwhelmed and complained to the estate manager about her working conditions. Instead of them taking her words into account, they instead apparently set up to fire her. They could have easily just calmed things down on her behalf and not included her in all his weirdness, but instead they chose to frame it as her being a thief. She was then asked to sign documents to waive her right to sue Diddy or she'd face prosecution. She said no and ended up suing him on several grounds, including wrongful termination, violation of the whistleblower protection, and harassment. This case, as you can also guess, was settled out of court. We all know Wendy Williams as one of the messiest gossipers in the media industry. She's burnt a lot of people along her journey as a radio personality, but she also stood 10 toes in what she did. Well, this one time, it really burned her. This led her to get fired from Hot 97, allegedly because of Diddy. When Wendy was working on Hot 97, people would send her stuff to talk about. And this time, she was emailed pictures of Diddy supposedly doing incriminating acts with another man. His bodyguard Gene Deal said that once Diddy found out that Wendy was going to expose these pictures, Diddy went into dog mode and called up his connections in Hot 97 offices. He told them that if they don't get rid of Wendy, Diddy was going to pull all his music from the station. Bad Boy in the 90s was a powerhouse of hit records with urban artists, so the station fired her.
Cancun, and we were on our way to the island of women. You understand? And this is all it was, bro. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull it down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay porn or something like that. And she was gonna put it out. So they stopped her from putting it out.
And they got her fired from Hot 97 because of that.
Well, I think that we were in California at the time. And Puff was shooting a layout for either Rolling Stones or what's the other magazine? Rolling Stones, it begins with a B. Billboard, right, thank you. He was shooting a layout for either Rolling Stone or Billboard when he had the white suit on. I was the one who put him in the damn pool. what happened was that Wendy had somehow shown people that email. You hear me? She's shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was going to boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. It was over for her. She was fired. Like he did Wendy Williams. He said it when we was in Cali. When I come back to New York and that BITCH is on the radio. This is Wendy Williams, the hottest radio host in New York City. When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone. He said, let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she's on the radio station, he's talking to a radio executive. He said the same thing he said, nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know is gonna do anything with y'all, no business at all. It ain't gonna be no artist, no nothing gonna come. He's telling people that at a radio station. When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly.
Out of all of Wendy's moments when she was exposing, revealing, and bringing everybody's dirt or personal business into light, this round Wendy didn't end up winning and it cost her her job. Wendy ended up suing Hot 97 for breach of contract, and of course, the case was settled. Out of many moments where Diddy played a hand and used his power to his advantage, this was something that Wendy couldn't get away with. Like I said, Wendy has said a lot of things that got her under fire, but she crossed the line many times, and sometimes there's no coming back when you mess with the wrong person. Diddy has been successful for the majority of his life. He felt like he was on top of the world, and truthfully, he was. He made a lot of right turns that ended up in his favor in many ways. He continues to walk around untouched, and when you continue to cross these lines, you get big-headed, and you feel like you have the godlike complex because you can make things happen. This fueled his ego and of course has gotten crazier as the years go by. But this is Surviving Diddy. Thank you guys for tuning into this series. Make sure you show appreciation by liking, commenting, and subscribing if you want to see more content. Thank you. Toodles.